Well, Fox News host Eric Bolling is in hot water. He has been accused of sending lewd images to fellow Fox colleagues, and I don't think those were 19th century French paintings by Degas or Renoir. I think we all know what these alleged images are of. They are dick pics. Now, I don't know what will happen with this story. There's a good chance that Eric Bolling is completely innocent, or this was all a misunderstanding. But this news item is a teachable moment in the sense that it is a tidbit from current events, a salacious one at that, but it's one from which we can draw a broader lesson. And that lesson is this, gentlemen. You should never, ever in a million years even think of sending a woman a dick pic. And I don't say that simply for reasons of good taste or propriety, although there are plenty of reasons of good taste and discretion not to send dick pics. But I don't just say it for those reasons. A man who sends a woman a dick pic does not fundamentally understand women. He does not understand human nature, and he does not understand the human sexual dynamic. He is egalitarian in a sexual sense, in the sense that he believes, implicitly or unconsciously, you would say, that women are simply men with breast and vaginas, that women have, and women's brains and men's brains are interchangeable. It's just the genitalia and maybe the physique that's different. No, that is not the case. Men and women are fundamentally different. Women don't want dick pics, and that's not because they have better taste than men or a little more prudish than men, although there's a kernel of truth to that. They don't want dick pics because they don't think like men. They have a different sexual dynamic than men. They might want dick pics, but not for the reason that these beta orbiters understand. They might want dick pics simply to humiliate a man, or even a little more maliciously to have something on a man. But they don't want dick pics in the way that we men might enjoy seeing a picture of women's breast or butt or even vagina. They are fundamentally different. They don't fetishize the male form in the way that we do. And this is a teachable moment because it allows us to dig deeper into the human sexual dynamic. Let's start here. Let's start on the most basic level. And this is an argument that is made by F. Roger Devlin in his indispensable essay called Sexual Utopia and Power that was originally published in the Occidental Quarterly a long time ago, about 10 or 15 years ago. And everyone needs to go read it. But Devlin got at this basic asymmetry between men and women. And if sex is a marketplace, men effectively have infinite demand and women have constrained supply. And I'm not just talking about desire or something like that. I'm talking about the most basic shit, the most basic sex stuff. I'm talking about sperm and eggs. Women, over the course of a lifetime, will produce hundreds of fertilizable eggs. Men will produce 1,000 sperm per minute. The ratio is so out of whack between sex cells, between the two sexes, that it's not even funny. It's 1,000,000 to 1, effectively. Men, we can have sex multiple times a day. We're always producing sperm. When we ejaculate thousands, millions of little guys. The woman has 1 egg per month for her adult lifetime. This is a huge difference. And it informs the basic sexual dynamic that we experience in everyday life. One can see this basic dynamic in the you could say, archetypal fantasies of men and women. The archetypal fantasy for a man is someone like Don Giovanni or James Bond. That is a rakish rogue who travels the world or the countryside, experiencing a great deal of variety of different women, lots of them, maybe multiple women at the same time. You know the whole thing. There's a funny song from Mozart's Don Giovanni, Mille Tre, where Leporello talks about how he has 3 women in Italy and 11 in this town and 200 in Germany and all this kind of stuff. That's what men ultimately want. That we don't know. We rarely get it, but that's our ultimate fantasy: is Don Giovanni or James Bond or something like that. The ultimate female fantasy is not that. It's very rare indeed for a woman to want to roam the countryside, getting variety of men. What the woman really wants, it's not so much to get married, it's not so much monogamy. What she wants is the sexual energy of the man to go to her. She wants the best man, maybe the badass, the alpha. She wants that person to give over to her his sexual energy. She wants to be loved in that sense. If we want to think about this grammatically, the male is the subject of the sentence. The male is the verb of the sentence, that is, he is the action. The female is the direct object of the sentence. The female is the object of desire, while the male is the desire itself and the subject of the desire, the source of the desire. This is the dynamic. The male is fundamentally positive. The woman is fundamentally negative. She receives his energy. The male gives his energy. Now, are there exceptions to this rule? Of course. But again, exceptions prove the rule. And you can see this in the way, to get back to the whole dick pic question, you can see this in the way that men fetishize sex and the way that women fetishize sex. Men, we do love looking at breasts. We love looking at asses. We love looking at vaginas. We love looking at beautiful women's faces. We can't get enough of it. Indeed, if I wanted to get more hits on this YouTube video, I would just simply put a picture of a voluptuous woman in a bikini or a skinny girl looking at you alluringly, and I would automatically get more hits, because men, we can't help ourselves. These images like this are metaphors for the object of desire that we seek, that we quest after. Women simply don't fetishize men in the same way. Now, it's not to say that a woman won't, look at Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise or even Justin Bieber or something like that. Who's that? Tom Holland, I believe, the new Spider-Man. Oh, yeah. It's not that they don't fetishize men to a degree. They just, the ratio of fetishizing sexual objects is totally out of whack. In the sense that if you want to think of how many strippers there are, how much porn there is, how many lewd, erotic images of the female form there are, and then how many images of the male form there are, it's so out of whack it's not even funny. Female strippers outnumber male strippers 1,000 to 1, and so on. There's actually been some interesting studies that I read about. Tracing the eye movements of men and women as they watch pornography. What's very interesting about that is that both men and women are watching the woman. Men want to look at the eyes of the woman. The eyes are, window of the soul, so on. They want to obviously look at the genitals too, but they actually will look at her face. Women also want to look at the woman. So basically, in porn, the male is absent. The male is just there again to give his energy to the woman. Now, is this fair? Is this good? Is this moral? No, but it just is what it is. This is the human sexual dynamic that we're stuck with, and to think that we can fundamentally change it or is a fool's errand. And one has to understand it. Eric Bolling, to get back to the newsy item at hand, Eric Bolling was basically thinking that, he wants to excite these women in his office, allegedly, of course, and he's basically assuming that they're like men, that they would look at his dick on their smartphone and be like, oh yeah, I want some of that. No, that's not what women want. Women don't fetishize dicks. Women want men to come after them. They want a man's energy. That's what they want. So when you're sending a woman a dick pic, all you're going to get is, there'll be, I don't know, they'll laugh at you, they'll show it to their friends, they might be grossed out, they won't care. And worse than that, they might want that simply as a way of humiliating you, simply as a way that you're giving something to them that they could use against you. They don't see it as an object of their desire. They only see it as a kind of shit test or as a ritual humiliation. And every man should know this. You're not going to get anywhere sending dick pics. Now, how will you get somewhere with women? Well, that is the subject of another video. But giving them your energy, being aggressive, wanting them. Women want to be wanted. Men want. Again, men are the subject and the verb of a sentence. They're the source of action and they're the action itself. Women are the direct object. So yes, that's how you can get a woman. Be aggressive, be bold, go after them, give them their energy. That's what they want. But to think that they're going to lust after your dick is to fundamentally misunderstand human sexuality. So Eric Bolling, not only was he indiscreet, he was also a doofus when it comes to human nature. All right, all for now. Talk to you soon.